some more jobs to do in the garden. At the moment I'm going to do some deadheading. There's quite a bit needs doing at the moment. It's really important to remove flowers as soon as they finish flowering. Stops them going to seed, which means that all that strength and goodness going into the seed pods will go into the roots and the plants to form better, stronger plants. In this case, I want to stop this calendula from actually growing and producing seed that's going to take over the whole garden. Pair of secateurs, just cut them off above the flower, below the flowers, and that will allow the other flowers to come out and take over. Easily done. Last year I collected the seed off these. It's probably one of the most, it's an annual, so it grows every year and it just reseeds. I've never planted any for about 20-30 years. They just come up every year, and this is the seed off the seed heads. I collected some last year because somebody asked me if I could, but since then I've not seen the person, and with the lockdown I've not been able to give them the seeds. So you can with these just snap them off with your fingers just as easy. Just grab them and just tear them sideways. They tend to come off easier, and then they're ready and we'll get loads. If you collect the seeds, then you can place them where you want them for next year, which is a good idea, because otherwise your beds get full of calendula. But they're very pretty and they're a good filler. They come out early in the spring, early summer. It's the 1st of May today, and so that's really what we want. I'm going to deadhead the daffodils now. The important thing with daffodils, cut the stems off just below the seed heads. This'll stop. You can see the seeds already are starting to swell. They're and all the goodness from the plant and energy will go into producing these seeds inside the seed pods, which is not what we want. What we want to encourage at this time of year is for these leaves to die back. That's why we cut them just below the seed head, so we leave the stalks in. These will eventually shrivel up, and all the goodness that are in these leaves will go down into the bulbs in the ground and produce better plants for next year, stronger, healthy plants, bulbs. So as soon as the daffodils have finished flowering, make sure you deadhead them all. This particular daffodil, it's a paper white, has been here for about 25 years. It's not got an awful lot bigger, although I vaguely remember taking half of it out a few years ago. But they do make a sort of really nice flower, but they have a very pungent scent, and my wife can't stand the scent in the house. I think it's often referred to as smells a bit like cat wee, but that's it now, and we'll just leave them to die back naturally. Then they can pull them out and we can put some bedding in around the base, so not to disturb the bulbs that are there. But it'll in this particular bed I've got Crocosmia Lucifer growing. You can just see them coming up now here, and these will be all over the bed up to about 3 foot high. Make a spectacular contribution to the garden as it is. Now, something I've just been thinking about, which I'm going to show you. I have quite a few white bells, pink bells, blue bells in the garden dotted about, and I've also had quite a few snowdrops this year, which are dotted about again. Now, snowdrops, a good time to move them is just after they finish flowering, preferably before they set seed, but I've left it a bit late. But what I want to do, and what I'm thinking of doing, a new project, along the boundary I've put in all these evergreen shrubs, which form a wonderful cover instead of looking at the hedge, the fence at the back. The fence doesn't belong to me, but the lady who used to live there didn't mind at all. She thought it was very attractive because it came over her side of the fence and gave her a bit of colour. But at the bottom of the hedge, it's very difficult to mow in tight, and so what I'm thinking of doing is, because bluebells, pink bells, white bells, whatever colour you've got, do really well in the shade. That's why they grow in the woodlands so well. I'm going to put an edge on this lawn and take out the grass, and then I'm going to put in a lot of